Preview.
Here with us today, we have a special guest, Taylor or Tay Steele. He's a special instructor of video for the Willis Center for Entrepreneurship. Glad to have you here, Tay.
Thanks for having me.
Taylor graduated from BYU-Hawaii in fall 2014?
2015.
2015. Was it fall or winter?
Spring.
Spring.
Yeah, I guess winter.
Winter. Okay,
Who
cool.
knows around here.
And since then, you've been teaching at BYU-Hawaii and will be for...
I don't know. Just kind of play it by semester, but I'll be teaching this next fall. And don't really know after that.
Okay.
But I enjoy it, so.
All right, and you graduated with a degree in ICS?
IDS.
IDS, okay.
Interdisciplinary studies, yeah. So graphic design was my main focus, and then entrepreneurship and peace building was kind of my secondary focus.
Okay, cool. So you kind of combine three areas then to make one.
Yeah.
And all of that with the goal to become a videographer?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It kind of came later on. I actually started with political science.
Oh.
Loved the classes that I took, but it just wasn't me, and then I made a change and decided to pursue my passion for video. So
I didn't know that. Political science. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You never shagged me as a political science major.
Well, I don't think once I realized what I was getting myself into, I don't think it was me at all. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I really want to know, I think, you've had a ton of students, and obviously you have a pretty big following, relatively speaking, on your Vimeo channel and stuff like that. I think most people would want to know how did you start in videography? What got you into it? And, how old were you when you first made your first video, for example? Things like that.
Yeah. I always loved doing video when I was young, and always had my dad's camera, just doing home video type stuff, and making little videos, skate videos, and school projects and whatnot. And then probably the first video that I think I made was actually after I missioned, when I got my first DSLR, that I guess I'd consider anything that I would, put on my portfolio. It was just actually a family video that at the time I was really interested in working with the church, doing Mormon message type stuff. And so I tried to just make my own based off of a talk that Elder Uchtdorf had given, or President Uchtdorf. At the time, still just like a hobby. And then I kind of did a wedding after that a few months later. Still just did it for free, just kind of feeling it out. And from there, I guess it just kind of went from hobby to something that I feel like I wanted to try to pursue full time.
Sweet. Okay. Did you put that video on YouTube then, or was it just for your family that you showed? Or
actually, I think that video, that one I did of my family, is probably, I think it's the very first video on my Vimeo channel.
Oh, really?
I haven't taken it down.
If I went on there, like right now, we could totally watch it.
It's there right now.
We won't watch it. These guys want to get out of here, so.
Yeah, it's there, but
we'll watch it later. Okay, cool. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, it seems like a lot of LDS videographers I know, a lot of them start out, either at one point in their careers they've had that thought of, I'd like to work for the church, for Mormon messages. I mean, because it's videos that are powerful and have a message, so it makes sense. And I guess, what was it that drew you to video personally? What was it? The art of it? Was it kind of like getting to see a finished product? I mean, what drew you to?
Yeah. Honestly, I like every step of the process of filming, from shooting to editing, but I don't know, it's just like my mind just is always thinking like, oh, that'd be an awesome shot. Wherever I'm at, I'm just like, oh, that'd be, this could be a cool shot, or that could be a cool shot. But I don't know, it's just like I can't stop doing it. I love it so much, and for me, it's just like a way that I can, like what we said, like we like to communicate messages, and for me, like a way of doing that is through film, and whether that's like to portray something cool or something that's like inspiring or uplifting, I just love doing it through film, and I just don't want to stop doing it.
So then I gotta ask though, in terms of, when you were a political science major before, and switching your majors, were you here at BYU-Hawaii when that happened, when you switched your major?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come you didn't decide to transfer to another university and do something like video, to a university that has a more established video program?
Honestly, before I came to Hawaii, I was still really considering if I wanted to do filmmaking for a career. Just didn't know if I could make it work, like provide for a family, to make money doing it. I talked to the wrong people in the industry, and they discouraged me from doing it until about a month coming to Hawaii. I met one of the producers of the church. I was actually just randomly came across him. I found his lens on a KSL Classifieds, kind of like Craigslist, and went to go buy it, and he just happened to be the producer of the church, or one of the producers for the church.
Oh wow!
Saw he had a great family, great house, he was seeming to do all right, and so I just asked him, how's it like being a filmmaker, and are you able to provide for your family and whatnot? And he had actually done dental school 2 years before and dropped, and then did film school, and so kind of his success story really helped me to see hey, I could really make this happen if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I still felt like I needed to come to BYU-Hawaii, even though I was like, shoot, should I go to film school now? Should I stay in Utah? But I still felt like I needed to come to BYU-Hawaii, and I did political science. And still at the time, my plans on that route were still going through, but then I came here, and day one of school, I sat in some of my classes and I just didn't feel like it was right. Took the next semester to fill out different areas. And it was over the next year or two as I did certain projects in my classes with Brother Merriweather, for some of the students who might know him, and then other professors like Chad Ford were pretty influential in just helping me figure out what I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just decided, and lots of people helped me recognize, hey, you kind of have something going for you with this, and I had a lot of good projects, and from there I was just all right, I think this is something I want to do. And one project kind of led to the next until I fully was this is for sure what I want to do, and just haven't really gone back.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. I think that's especially awesome because, I think a lot of people, I know me, I'm a music major. I mean, I did double major, but still a lot of multimedia artists, one of the big fears is, am I going to be able to support a family, you know? And so I bet meeting that guy especially kind of helped us say, hey, it is possible, right?
Yeah. And since then, honestly, and I tell my class this all the time, is that my perspective not only has gone from, okay, this is an industry that you can do okay in, but the video industry is a blossoming industry, and so it's not just something we can find a lot of success in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So my eyes have opened a ton in the last 3 years as the possibilities of filmmaking or anything that has to do with video or media.
Yeah.
So
cool. So then with that blooming industry, what are your plans? I mean, long term, do you want to go into big budget Hollywood films? Are you wanting to do films like indie films, or do you want to stay with content marketing?
Yeah. I'm not so much indie films or big Hollywood productions. If I ever got the chance to be a part of it, I wouldn't ever turn it down.
Okay.
But I love storytelling, mm-hmm. and whether that's through documentaries or I love, honestly, commercial work.
Yeah.
I think I want to keep going towards that, getting just bigger and bigger clients and working on bigger productions than what I've currently done. And sometimes that can be hard here in Hawaii just because there are limited opportunities, and there might be more opportunities on the mainland.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like that kind of gap can be bridged for sure. So yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, one advantage of being on Hawaii is if you make a name for yourself, then everyone, then it's kind of like this crowd that they all know to come to you as opposed to having a ton of competition. Is that true, or is there actually still a ton of competition in Hawaii?
There's definitely a community of filmmakers for sure, and even within Laie, tons of friends who also do video and are also very talented. I've come to learn that there's a place for everyone. So while there is competition, it doesn't really feel like you're always competing, just because people have their own networks, people have their own strengths, people, you know, are at different levels and at different times, and so it can be saturated for sure, but I don't know, I feel like everyone's able to, you know, have the opportunities that they need. But there is a community of filmers here for sure, but I feel like everyone's finding their own success just through their different networks and different opportunities. So it's pretty cool to be part of it.
Right. You can't be the only one for all the opportunities that are available. Right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, opportunities will come for everyone. So
cool. So then, speaking of, you know, you were mentioning moving on to bigger projects. I saw that on Facebook you posted that you were working on a video with Jared Leto.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had done basically they're working on a project right now, and it was public for a while, doing kind of this, putting a documentary together, kind of showing America on the 4th of July.
Okay.
Just in its kind of natural element, events that are happening, and can't say too much about it, but was able to shoot for them on the 4th of July, and with a bunch of other filmmakers that were involved in the project. They were filming every state in the United States, and so I was able to film Hawaii for that project. So more to come for sure.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
How did they get in contact with you? Did you contact them? You know, how did that happen?
Actually, the producer had reached out to me through my friend Amber Mozo, who knew him, and then from there, looking for someone who shoots here in Hawaii, reached out to me, and I sent them my highlight reel, and from there we moved forward with the project.
Dang, man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Holy cow. Sweet. Yeah, that's a big name to be working with, that's for sure. And I mean, I said Jared Leto, or is it with his band? Or is it with Jared Leto? Both. Or are you allowed to say?
Yeah, so it's kind of a mixed project, I think, where they'll be creating a documentary, and the rest of the footage will be used to, like a condensed version, to release a single they're putting out as a band. Right. So
cool.
That day, on the 4th of July, literally was shooting from 4:30 in the morning till pretty much midnight.
Oh my gosh.
With like a 15-minute lunch. We were just trying to get as much footage as we could.
Of just 4th of July around the island?
Because it had to be on the 4th of July.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. So
all right.
Josh Christiansen from Media Productions helped out with me. Yeah. So that was cool. It was really cool.
Wow. All right. Lumiere. Is that how you say it? I can't speak French.
I don't think I'm too good at French either, so that works too.
So this is kind of your big project right now for the most part. You know, you've taken it to 2 film festivals now, or?
Maybe 4 or 5 so far.
Oh, okay, more. Wow.
Yeah.
And all around the world, right? You went to one in Australia?
Yeah, Australia was a contest for a surf magazine out there in Australia. So that was a portion of the film. And then the rest, we've had a festival in Wales, in San Diego. We did one in Utah. And then just this last month, it's been playing at the Honolulu Surf Film Festival.
Oh, yeah?
They're about to wrap up. They played it 3 times there. They already showed our final one, and then this week it's playing in Portugal.
Oh my gosh.
And then the following week he'll play in New York. And then we have probably 20 plus screenings coming up on 4 different continents. So really excited about that. We're just trying to put it on a huge tour and get it out there as much as we can to share the story.
Dang, man, that's sweet.
So.
And so the story itself, you know, it's about Amber Mozo, who's she's famous on Instagram as her big platform, and her dad is John Mozo, you know, a huge North Shore photographer. I wanted to ask, you know, why did you decide to make this film? What was your inspiration?
I think obviously, like, it's an inspirational story with Amber's background and the story with her dad, but in that story had already been told by Devin Graham and the film that he did,
Transcend.
Which was awesome, and the message was really inspiring. Because that had already been done, I really wanted to focus on more of what Amber's done going forward, as she's been able to overcome that, and kind of that legacy that she's continued over her dad in relation to photography and just her love for the ocean.
Okay, cool. What I wanted to do is actually kind of look at a few frames with you and ask you a little bit of behind the scenes, because watching these, you know, I was like, man, there's some crazy good shots.
Cool.
First off, like this first segment with the music is just awesome. I love this whole entire thing. But there were 4 shots specifically I wanted to ask you about.
Cool.
I think they're really interesting. You got a couple of drone shots throughout, with your drone, were you using your GH4 or were you using a different camera?
No, that was all shot with the DJI Phantom 3 Pro.
Okay, a DJI Phantom. Okay, cool. So there's one shot coming up.
Good thing too, because we crashed it a few times. So
dude, you're done. GH4 is toast. Actually, before I show you this is a good thing to talk to you about. I noticed on some of your comments, maybe it wasn't on this one, no, it's on the other one, people are asking about your camera and stuff, and one of your big messages to people was, what'd you call it? What was your abbreviation?
Gas,
Gear,
from class.
Gear acquisition syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, just for...
Yeah, for anyone, myself included, it's easy to feel like until we have the nicest equipment, that we're not going to shoot. Like we wait until we have this camera and this equipment, and then we'll go shoot it, because that will make it look really good. And it's like this rut that we get in, but the reality of it is what you're able to do, like 90% of it I feel like is you and what's up here and here, and then your equipment can just enhance that. So it's more about, you know, the story and what you have envisioned and your own creativity, rather than maybe necessarily the camera in your hand. So sometimes it's hard to overcome that, and it can keep you from shooting and creating, but you often surprise yourself, wow, like what can we do with so little? And for sure, like, not to say and discredit what equipment can do, because it obviously enhances your production for sure, but you know, a lot of us, like, especially when we're starting, we don't really have a lot, and so we kind of have to make do with what we have. But it doesn't mean that you can't still create something, you know, great.
Which is part of why you have your students as their first project make something with just an iPhone, right? Make a video with just an iPhone, which is really cool to show them. It doesn't matter. All right, looking at Lumiere. I say Lumiere, I know that's not the right way, but you know, whatever. Actually, that title, so that means light in French. Why that title?
Well, we were actually in Tahiti, and Amber had come out with a book called Chasing Light, and it's basically, she went around the world during a time in her life and took a ton of photos and visited like 80 countries, I think, tons of countries, maybe, I don't know, that's a high number, but a lot of countries, and that was on the table, and like I really liked that concept of like light and chasing light, but didn't want to use that same title. And then from there, like some friends and her auntie were staying with, they obviously spoke French, and light was just like, you know, kind of with a trial or a challenge, like, you know, losing a loved one, like Amber's dad, like that can bring to one's life a lot of darkness. But it was kind of the light through the ocean, through God, through the gospel, through family, through loved ones, that helped her to overcome that darkness. And it just like, it kind of became a little bit of the theme throughout the film, of even just what directed my shooting, was trying to find shots that either literally illustrated light or even like figuratively. So whether it was through someone's expression or literally like some really good natural lighting, or you know, like a sun ray or something.
Those flares, and you get a lot of those.
So it just felt really fitting for the message that we really wanted to share through that story.
Awesome. I like that. Okay, so the first shot, not this shot, this shot. Okay, so I'll play it all the way through just a little bit. What we'll do for the video.
Could take, but I still wanted what it could give.
Talk a little bit the behind the scenes of getting this shot. So where is this at first off? Because that, at first I was like, is that Chinaman's? I was like, no, there's no way.
No, that was actually cool. I had never shot there. That was Point. And like, it was just like, as soon as that sun dropped, it was just like
gorgeous.
Oh, it was epic. So that was just a nice, I guess, sunset.
And so were you in the water, just like having your waterproof case? And how did you stay stationary? I mean.
So you go out there and you just throw on your fins, and I mean you're swimming a lot around there, but just it helps, honestly. Like, maybe a tip for shooting underwater or shooting in the water is I shoot a lot in 60p and then slow it down. And that helps to make it gives you longer moments of steadiness. That makes sense.
Okay.
But definitely, like, how steady you can get your hand, I guess. And,
wow.
Sometimes you get it right, and other times you don't. And I guess that was a time where it was good. So.
All right, cool. Another shot was, I don't know if people have asked you a lot about this shot. I mean, it's pretty clear how you got it, but I just have to know, what was it like to be filming and there's just this...
Yeah.
There's places and people that we'll never see again. And for me, having just a photo of that moment or that place, for me to be able to hold on to that photo later means everything.
So, I mean, what was that like? Could you hear the whale? Could you hear?
Yeah. So there are some times when you hear the whales and sometimes you don't. And I don't know if in that moment remember if the whale was actually singing or not.
Yeah.
But like, that was actually kind of like a pretty like spiritual experience, because you have like a creation so big in the water and you're so small, and you realize exactly that, like, I'm such a small part of this world, and you're in this huge vast ocean, and like that's the whales' habitat, like we're stepping into their home,
Yeah.
But first, like, seeing that whale, like, I remember just seeing like blue, like this dark shade of blue in front of me, and everyone's like, oh, the whale's right there, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. And then I look left and I see the end of that dark shade of blue, and then I look right and I see the other end of it. And like, I step back, I'm like, oh, that's the whale, because it's so big.
Yeah.
But just like, really just, I don't know, kind of like like I said, just like kind of a spiritual experience, just because it just kind of puts you in your place and you realize like how amazing God's creations are.
Yeah. So were you guys just out filming and then you just saw it and you're like, oh, we got to get this shot? Or, was it deliberate, like, hey, we know there's some whales over here?
Yeah, for sure. So we had actually gone out on several, like, Hammers Ante does whale tours.
Oh, okay. So that was here in Oahu?
No, sorry, that was in Tahiti.
That was in Tahiti.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, there's places in Tahiti, and I mean, I'm sure even here, like, where whales are going to be.
Right.
But on that specific ride out, kind of how it is like, you'll go out to where they're kind of frequently seen and where they're at, and you could wait up to like 2 hours until you actually spot one.
Yeah.
But once you finally do, you kind of monitor its breach points. How long it's coming up, and then, like, because it's going to go back down once it breaches, just like that.
Right.
And so if it keeps swimming away, then it's going to beat you and you won't be able to get in with it. But as soon as it breaches and it stays in one point, you can bring the boat so close. You have to keep a certain distance, and then you dive in, and if you can get it where you're with them for like 30 minutes before they dive back under, and then you lose them, and then they'll come back up and breach again. And they might stay in that position for a while. But sometimes, like, we went out and we didn't there was none, you know. But other times, like right after you're done surfing, like they're just right around the corner, and you weren't actually going to look for them, but they happened to be there. But for that specific shot, that was one of our first encounters.
Oh, okay.
On that trip, so that was pretty cool.
Dang, man. Okay. So. Now we've got this dolphin shot, and I'm just curious, watching it and seeing the movement. So, were you on a boat and you were just at the very edge, or how were you getting that movement? Was that your drone, or?
Yeah. So because I mentioned I crashed my drone.
Oh yeah.
I crashed out on like day 3 of our 3-week trip, and so I was super bummed. So from there on out, like I was so bummed because I really wanted just like epic drone shots. I didn't want it to be a film just full of drone shots, you know, but I wanted to use it sparingly, but when I used it, I wanted it to be really good. So to like make up for that, then my mindset was like, anytime I was on the bow of a boat, I was like, I'm gonna make this look like it was a drone shot.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of like kind of pan ups. Whenever we were on a boat and it was glass, like I would go right to the bow, and I would do like just a pan up move to kind of emulate maybe a drone shot. Yeah. So there's a few shots in the film that are like that, and I was really trying to create again that feel of a drone shot. This one was on our way back actually from going out and diving with some whales, and right as we were about to come back to the dock, these dolphins just pop up, and right to my left and to my right is everyone on the boat just also looking at them too, and I'm just like holding my, camera up, hoping to get it, you know, and trying to hold it steady. And that one was really sick because it just turned out super smooth, and that was probably one of the best dolphin shots.
Those are really the 3 frames I thought were just kind of like, man, I got to ask you about those.
Cool.
So just some wrap-up questions. All the locations you guys filmed in, was it just Hawaii and Tahiti?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tahiti and Hawaii. All right. And part of that is because Amber's her dad's side of the family are from Tahiti, yeah?
No. So
no.
Her family's, so her dad would just take her on trips to Tahiti.
Oh, okay.
And early on, he had gone out there and started shooting surf, and then just really grown close to the island and the people and the culture.
Oh, okay.
And so growing up, she would go out on these trips with her dad, and so it became a special place for her. And so her and her husband Colby were going out to Tahiti, and Amber thought it'd be a great place to kind of come up with some kind of video and some kind of story, just because it had that she had that connection with Tahiti. And while we were there, honestly, it wasn't meant to be as long as it was. But when we returned, it just felt like, you know, a lot of her story, though, you know, some of it's in Tahiti with her dad, but so much of it still is in Hawaii, where she, you know, grew up, and her love for the ocean and photography developed, and then obviously where her dad had passed away at Pipeline. So I wanted to incorporate aspects of that. And so once we came back from Tahiti, we did some shooting here on Oahu, a little bit down in town at Waikiki. One of the sections is there. That's where Amber's dad taught her to surf.
Yeah.
And then we had another section out here on the North Shore at her dad's favorite break, and that was super kind of a special shoot just because of that connection, and kind of felt like John was there actually with the lighting that we had there, and the fog had kind of settled in that week, and so it just created a really unique shooting conditions. So
wow. Well, is there anything else you'd have to say about your film? What's the future of this film? You know, what's the future of Taylor Steele and Lumiere?
Yeah, I think just kind of like we said, it's for the next year. It's going to be in this kind of film festival tour. We have a lot that it's already been selected into, and a lot that we're still waiting to hear back on, and some that it hasn't been selected into.
Right.
So we've been running a GoFundMe to get funds to go towards music licensing, submission fees, in order to be able to just share it to everyone through film festivals, and then we'll see what happens after that next year. So
cool. The last question I have for you is just, what's your advice for the other people out there, whether they're videographers or other multimedia artists, you know, photographers, other people in the same kind of field? What's your advice for them who want to start out, who are in the business having a hard time? I mean,
like, I would say first, like, if you like whatever medium it is in art, like if that's what you love, then there's a way to make it work. I kind of realized later on as I was pursuing it that I would also have to figure out how to turn it into a business, which at first was kind of daunting because I was an artist, not necessarily like an entrepreneur. Though I really loved entrepreneurship, I love the idea of it. So it requires a ton of work, like more work than you'll ever do working for anybody else. But if it's something that you love and you're really good at, then there's nothing else you'll succeed at more, I think, in my opinion. But I don't know, it sounds like maybe kind of cheesy, but like follow your heart pretty much. Like if that's where you feel like your tendency is, then like see it through. And I think honestly another thing like that's been biggest for me is like prayer. Prayer has been huge to recognize what I'm good at and maybe what I'm not so good at. And like I worked super hard at what I've done so far, and I have so much more work to do to where I want to be. But to this point where I'm at, like I wouldn't have been here without including the Lord in those plans. And so like a lot of people have asked like, well, how did you figure out what you want to do? And like the key to that for me was just including Heavenly Father. A lot of the entrepreneurs over at the center will say like your best business partner is Heavenly Father. And like it's so true. Like I just can't like maybe emphasize that more, is like if you feel like lost or you feel like I don't know what to do, even if it has nothing to do with video, like start praying about it, and like the Lord will help you recognize what your talents are and what your strengths are and where you can, you know, be the best at and give the most. And that's how it was for me. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming and letting us talk to you about all this. This is, you know, it's nice to always get the behind the scenes look. Make sure to check out his GoFundMe page. You can also look for him on Vimeo.com. His account name is Tay Steele, T-A-Y S-T-E-E-L-E. Don't forget the last E.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.